Alright. Hello, it's me again, making more food from video game. I almost said video games, but that's not true. It's just the one. This is Stardew Valley cooking. I am actually going to do something before I explain what I'm doing, sort of broadly. There's already water in here. The world is so beautiful. I'm going to stop boiling this water and also probably preheat the oven if I can remember what temperature I need to do that. Let's find out. My phone is reloading every page every time I close an app. Um, 425. Ooh, okay, maybe I should not use parchment paper then. Good to know. Um, alright, now that that's done. Hello. I'm preheating the oven at boiling water. I don't know when you got here. And now I'm explaining what this is. The rules of this are that I'm making all of the foods that you can cook in Stardew Valley. Number one rule, I have to use all of the ingredients listed in the game. Possible exceptions for like specific types of fish. We'll figure out if that's needed when I get to ones with weird fish. Number two, I can add any other ingredients that are not available in the game. Number three, as much as possible, create the recipes myself. Baking is kind of an exception that will come up today. Number four, as much as possible, use local and or foraged ingredients. I went and picked blackberries. Success. Uh, Rule number five, as much as possible, take inspiration from the in-game images and descriptions. I will be justifying some choices with this one. Uh, Rule six, as much as possible, try to make them actually tasty, even if they're not necessarily pitched as it. That one is not applicable here because Blackberry Cobbler is tasty. Rule number seven, have fun. Okay, I forgot to explain the segment of rule number two, add any ingredients not available in the game, that is relevant here, which is if there's an ingredient that's not listed in the recipe, but it is available in the game, I can't use it. Which is relevant because I am making Blackberry Cobbler asterisk. um, because it turns out cobbler has milk in every recipe that I can find, um, which I'm not allowed to use. So it's going to be more of a pie, I think, because pie does not include any illegal ingredients. Um, I did, sort of do my journalistic due diligence and look up non-dairy. I looked up Blackberry Cobbler no milk, and it was all like use almond milk instead. But I think that that is like not in the spirit of that rule. If I'm like not allowed to use an ingredient, I can't just be like, oh, I'll use something that's technically not this ingredient. Um, I guess the opposite also could come up at some point if there's like a required ingredient that is like I become allergic to or something. I can use a direct substitute if needed. But I think that it's like not really in the spirit of it to just use almond milk or oat milk instead of milk. So I'm not going to use milk and I'm going to make more of a pie. But the image for Blackberry Cobbler looks like a pie. Like there's clearly a pie crust. There's like lines on top, not so much like amorphous blobs of cobbler batter. I think that it's in the spirit of it to kind of just make a pie. So it's fine. Speaking of Blackberry Cobbler, the description, there's nothing quite like it. I think that's going to be false. I think there is something quite like it, and it's going to be blackberry pie. The ingredients, blackberries, two of them, sugar, and wheat flour. Um, I have those things, and some other things. This is so perfect. The water is boiling. I actually don't need it to be boiling yet. I've gotten ahead of myself. Um, I probably will need it before too long. Okay, I need to make some pie crust. I've made this recipe before. Um, I like to, around this time of year, go pick blackberries and make little pies out of them. Um, okay, how much flour do I need? 1.5 cups of it. Um, we'll see how this goes because I do I this recipe calls for 4 cups of blackberries. I picked about two. Um, but I also definitely have not I've never like made this with a full 4 cups of blackberries because that's a lot to pick. Um, I don't know that I've ever like been somewhere that has that many ripe at once. Let's see, done with this. Go away. Salt, probably I need to put in here, and baking powder of the 1 teaspoon amount. Get that there in the baking corner. Half a teaspoon of salt. We can exaggerate that a little bit. I like kind of a salty baked good, and also this is kosher salt, so slightly less salty for salt. Um, just mixing this together, and then gotta add butter and boiling water. Cool. Um, I also have not cut this butter up yet. Um, so I will find my cutting board. My dish rack is very full on account of this is the first time I'm doing like a dessert and not making myself dinner on one of these. So I already made dinner and cleaned up from it so that I would have room to make this. Okay. I think this needs to be cubed. Yeah. I love like a pie crust type crust. I should make empanadas again soon. It's been a minute since I've made them. Maybe I'll do that. I'm gonna be like, probably not the next one. I don't know what I'm gonna do next week for this yet. But the week after, I'm gonna be house sitting and dog sitting for my parents, so I'm probably gonna like I might actually do multiple that week, while I'm there, just sort of like use things that they have at their house that I don't have. I'm thinking maybe I'll do like the triple shot espresso because I don't have a coffee maker. But they have like a million coffee makers. That's not true, but I think they have at least two or three apparatuses for making coffee. Um, and like I'm pretty sure they have an ice cream maker. So I'm thinking triple shot espresso and ice cream will be the recipe that I definitely make while I'm there. And I might go crazy and just like make other ones as well. Okay, I'm adding this butter into this flour. Honestly, I'm probably just gonna. I did wash my hands, but I'm probably just gonna like wash them again and just mash this in together with my hands. Because whenever you're doing like a dough with butter, you're gonna end up doing that eventually. May as well just like admit to it at the beginning and commit. Um, Maybe I should make some tea as well. There is like a bunch of water in this kettle here. Okay. What kind of pie crust? Trader shortbread. It's flour and baking powder and salt and butter and boiling water. I'm not totally sure whether that's traditional or short. I feel like I think of it as short, but I'm not actually sure if that's beautiful and true or not. Um, I am just spewing steam all over the place. Let's have that go in the middle. Oh, there's a spider web on that. Light. I definitely should like. I feel like this is probably not actually like that crazy of an experience to have, but like there's definitely a couple of places in this kitchen that I don't like think to clean, like these like lights. Um, and it's not like I've never cleaned them ever, but I don't clean them like on the reg when I'm wiping down the counters and the stove and everything. And then I like look at them and I'm like, oh yeah, I guess this is like a surface that can collect dust and probably oil from when I cook things and the oil splatters. This is probably cutting butter with a pastry cutter or two knives. What? Whatever. Okay. Get my hands less floury and add uh, this boiling water here that I can stop the boiling it. Okay, go. How much is it? I think it's like 3 tablespoons. It's 3 tablespoons. I'm so good at this. Um, 1, 2, 3. Awesome. Okay, I'm not gonna use my hands now because it's hot, and I don't want to burn them. But after I mix it up a little bit, I'll probably go back to just sort of mashing it together. Hmm. I was also supposed to use a half cup of butter and not a third of a cup. So I'm going to cube up the rest of this because I think that'll probably help if there is enough butter. I guess I'll just have to. I think I've got like a little. I need 2 tablespoons of butter for the. Okay, this is now warm and not boiling. Back to the mashing together. I think I need like 2 tablespoons of butter for the filling. Well, I guess maybe I only need one if I'm gonna have it. I'm like pretty sure I've got a stick in there that has like 1.5 tablespoons left. We'll see. It also doesn't specify that it should be unsalted butter, uh, but it doesn't specify that for the crust either. So I think it probably should be, especially because you add calls for adding your own salt. All right. Definitely did a little bit goof it by adding the water and then the rest of the butter, but I honestly I think it's fine. I can just kind of keep mashing it together. Kind of knead it a little bit, probably. Problem is, I have this recipe pulled up on my phone and not the chat, and my hands are covered in a crust. Um, Usually when I make this, I actually do like mini pies. I'll do them in like a cupcake tin, muffin tin. Um, and I'll just like make little pies, which is always really fun. But I'm gonna make a big one because that is sort of how it looks in the thing. Okay. I think this is probably. I don't have like a real pie tin, but I've got a round cake pan, and I think that'll probably work just as well. Honestly, the like straight up sides might look more like the image in the game. Okay, that's done. Um, Next up, filling. I got a really cute little basket to go blackberry picking. Um, Let me like put the thing. It is the perfect size for the amount of blackberries I have, which is really beautiful. Um, I did get very rained on. Well, I didn't get very rained on. I got very soggy when I was picking these because it rained and then it stopped raining, and I was like, awesome. I'm gonna go to the park, pick blackberries, and then um, it was still very damp and like there was all kinds of runoff all over the trails from all of the rain earlier, and like puddles around some of the bushes, and then I did get rained on a little bit as I was leaving, but it was fun. Okay, so this calls for 3/4 of a cup of sugar, but it also I'm gonna like sort of have this. I'm gonna do like 1/3 of a cup of sugar, which is uh I think is that a little bit more than half or a little bit less? I don't know. It's close enough. Half would be 3/8 of 3/4, and 1/3 is slightly less than that. Yeah, that's fine. Um, uh, the filling is just sugar. Oh, it calls for flour too. Sure does. Get that back down. I guess that kind of makes sense. Sugar, flour, cinnamon, blackberries, lemon juice, butter. Oh, it doesn't have butter in it. Awesome. I am probably gonna grab some butter to grease this pan though. Um, you're also supposed to combine the non-berry ingredients and then put the berries in. Whatever, it's fine. Um, oh, I guess I need not 3 tablespoons, but like 1.5. I'm not getting over half tablespoon. So I will do, I think, the full. Do I want to do the full amount of cinnamon? I'll do like It calls for a teaspoon. I'll do like a wimpy teaspoon, more than half, but not quite all of it. Um, Salt. Oh, it has you sprinkle with lemon juice and dot with, but I see. I see. Salt. I've put away. No longer. 1/8 of a teaspoon. I don't have. I don't have one of those. A spinkle, a little spinkle. That's what we get. Probably close enough. Um, and I'm gonna get a spoon to mix this up with, and then figure out the final butter situation. Um, oh, I do also have like a couple of, I think probably like normal grocery store blackberries that my roommate gave me to contribute. So I'm gonna add those in too. So it'll be it's a little more than 2 cups. I also don't know where she got this little container that it's in. Um, Also, I am gonna look at the stop reloading every app. It's annoying. Let me look at my chat. Okay, cool. I didn't miss anything. Okay. I guess it probably would make sense to like roll out this crust to put in the um, so let's do that. You go away. You also go away. You also go away. I'm done with you. You go over here, I think. Kind of wait on there so that I'm not rolling out my crust on wet. I think I'm gonna do like I'm gonna save like a third of the dough for bits on top. Um, it also probably would be a good idea to flour this rolling pin. I keep putting away the flour and then I'm putting it away. Yeah, let's not just like turn my counter into pie crust stuffed world. Uh, might be time to just kind of put this on the pan and oh right, I was gonna grease this. Let's do that. All right, let's see. I've got a little smidgen of unsalted butter. We will grease this pan and figure out the little bit that should go in on the top from there. We'll burn that bridge when we get to it, as I say. Okay, this is pretty solid. I can just kind of I can squish this. Um, I don't need to pre-bake this crust for this recipe. You unbaked crust, throw the filling in. I would like it to be solid across the bottom. We'll see. We'll see if that works. I might also throw a little bit more of the crust in here just to be down there. I feel like maybe this recipe assumes that you're not really gonna decorate the top. Let's let's throw a little bit more in here. That's fine. Um, it's sort of a vibes based cooking show. Cooking show even feels like a strong word. This is a vibes based experience. cultural event, perhaps. Kind of roll this out. So like this is going to be real thin. It's okay. Uh, I want that much for the top. We will we will spread this as evenly as possible. Some of these corners are definitely pretty thick, and it's part of why I wanted to make sure I remembered to grease the pan, because I am just squishing it in here. Um, the filling is gonna probably be pretty thin, which feels maybe more cobblery. Um, I'm kind of I'm justifying the more pie-like choices by trying to make cobbler ones. I don't really know what I'm talking. Like what is the difference between pie and cobbler? Apparently, it's milk in the batter. Cobbler recipes may have also called for egg. Actually, I'm not sure. I noticed the milk and went, I can't use that. Let's let's consider how we're gonna approach this. Um, I can't use egg either in this one. So, maybe the people of Pelican Town have sort of a different definition of cobbler in that they call pie that. I think there is also there definitely are also pies. There's a rhubarb one, I think, which I'm very excited for because I want to make a rhubarb pie. I've never done that. Um, I believe it doesn't call for strawberry, which is a shame because that's what you normally would pair with rhubarb in a pie. Okay, that seems even enough. This'll do. This'll do, pig. Okay. Just kind of put the filling in here. Um, Maybe I should have saved the big blackberries as like a kind of garnish on top, but whatever, it's fine. Um, I'm gonna put them in the middle though, because I don't know, seems like the move. Definitely not like the most even. Maybe I should have actually like sliced the big ones in half. It's fine. Okay. A serviceable pie filled. Let's put some lemon juice on here. I think I probably am just going to use the rest of this butter and not bother to get out a whole nother stick just for like a tablespoon. Um, but I'll cut it into little bitty bits. Just sprinkle it over the stuff, filling. I know what words are, believe it or not. Also like not totally sure how long this needs to bake for. Um, so it may be a while of kind of just hanging out and waiting. Yeah, this recipe does not have any instructions about oh, it's fit with top crust. They're expecting you to get two full crusts. That's wild. Um, Good for them. A tablespoon of lemon juice. I am going to use a full tablespoon. I like lemon juice. Um, you sprinkle it on. I think that it'll using a full. I'm using a slightly wimpy tablespoon, but I think it'll spread across better since it is the same size that this recipe actually called for. All right, sprinkle some butter on top. This would be really good with like brown sugar instead of it calls for white sugar. But like if you kind of like added maybe a little more cinnamon, some nutmeg, brown sugar, make it like a warmer flavor profile, that'd probably be pretty good. I've already mixed this together and put it, so I probably am not going to do that. But what maybe I'll make a little bit of like cinnamon sugar put on top. I feel like that would make sense to do with like a butter and like brush it on, like melt some butter, mix cinnamon sugar into it. All right. So for the top decoration, top crust, I'm gonna just do like lines across, and I'm not gonna bother like rolling it out and cutting strips. I'm just gonna roll them like into little worms and put them across. Um, and they're just kind of little parallel lines. Looks like there's five of them. I feel like that level of specificity is maybe not necessary in making it look like the picture. Uh, but it's kind of fun. Worms. And I'm actually gonna roll these on the surface a little bit. It's gonna be easier for the longer ones. Put that there. We are all preheated on the oven front, so once I'm done constructing this, we can throw it right in the oven. Um, it's like we got four stripes on this thing. Cool. All right. Let me see how long I need to bake this for. 30 to 40 minutes on a lower shelf. All right, I can do that. I'm pretty, yeah, there's a low shelf here. Right. Wop. I'm gonna set a timer for 35 minutes, and then I need to figure out what to do on a stream about cooking for 35 minutes while I'm not really actively cooking. Um, should have thought this through and like seen if there was something else I could make in the meantime. I might mute myself and do some dishes so as to not just make dish crunking noise. And while I do that, I'll think of what else I could possibly do for the next 35 minutes. Done doing dishes. That was more alliterative than I meant. Maybe I should make some tea. Would love for the chat to come up. Vote now on your phones. What kind of tea I should make? What do I got here? Gunsmoke tea. I got Fujicha tea. I have like multiple boxes of Earl Grey. What is this? This is peppermint. I've got jasmine green tea. Peach. It's not all loosely contained. There it is. Look at that. They also should wash this blackberry stained bandana. It's going in the miscellaneous laundry pile for things that are just like random little things that I only have one of. That I'm like, well, I guess once I get enough of these that need to be washed, they can all go in there together. Also, like, wipe down this basket a little bit. I feel like I don't want to, like, completely wash it. Also, put some blackberry juice on it. I'm gonna make some of this guns. I haven't had it. I've had it before, but I have not had any of this container. Also, I'm gonna finish wiping down the counter because I missed a spot. Maybe I'll I don't know. See, if they're oh, it's 7:45, so probably not any MMORPG games happening right now. Oh, my team's actually winning. We've been doing really bad lately. Wow, that's so beautiful. Actually winning the game. No. Let's say I've like buried my measuring spoons in the triangle of drying dishes. There we got it. Yeah. Perfect. My WUOT mug that has a really cute dog and cat on it. Shout out to public radio for being cool and also having this mug that I enjoy. One downside to this come on. One downside to this little tea thingy that I have is that the like side with the hinge on it, I could definitely get some pliers and make this close a little better, but little bits always fall out. And when I make like Fujicha tea, which is like a tea that fully it looks like sticks. It looks like sticks and leaves that you found on the ground in the fall, and there's always sticks and leaves in my cup. Yeah, big fan of this mug. My friend who works for NPR gave it to me. Um, Shout out to friends with cool jobs. I am probably going to throw this to a be right back screen really quick, and I'm gonna go and grab some paper and draw a bug. But I can bring the paper in here. There it is. Um, Discovered crime. My cat was on the table where she's not allowed to go, loafing there like she owns the place. Um, hey, what's up, with beetle? I'm drawing a bug every day, um, as sort of a New Year's resolution thing. Uh, and this month, I'm doing all beetles. See if anything. It's a cool flower. Just looking at iNaturalist. There's a false mealworm beetle. It's a very close-up picture of it. Oh, this looks kind of. I love like browsing iNaturalist and seeing that there are people who clearly are like doing a school project that they have. You can see their like notebooks and pencils in the pictures. I've been there. Plenty of my iNaturalist observations are like from uh like collection courses that I took. I'm not seeing a lot of beetles on the recent observations near me. So let's just sort of view some random beetle observations. Woodland door beetle, kind of just a black beetle, but it's got some nice iridescence. I didn't grab colored pencils or anything, so I'm probably just gonna do today's in pen. I could do a click beetle. Those are just like black and white, basically. Hey, Connie. Straw click beetle. They're fun. I wish I saw them more often. Like we have some around here. We've got Eastern-eyed click beetles. And like I've seen them before, but I want to see those guys around all the time. They're fun. Their shape is fun. Their beautiful eclipse-like markings are fun. The 19th? My beetle. Cool. So have 16 minutes to find stuff to do. I feel like this is probably steeped enough. Let's see. Honestly, I can leave it out. This is probably a tea that would be good with a little bit of milk in it. It's like let's see, s- green tea, gunpowder tea, black tea, just a bunch of teas. It's got rose hip, cocoa nib, peppermint leaves, blue cornflower. It's a fun little mix. It's very pretty. The gonna not dox myself with this brand, because it's local to me. But it also doesn't show up that well on camera. But like, there's like little like blue cornflower, and there's like the textures are very nice, very varied. Um, it's delightful. Whenever I'm like baking something, especially if it's like cookies where it's only like 12 minutes. Um, I'm like, well, that's not really enough time to like go do something else in a different room. So I do kind of just stand around and look at things. I want to go. I need to. I think go pick more blackberries. Probably next week. There were plenty that were still unripe, but in my heart, I was like, oh, I'm gonna make this blackberry cobbler, and I'm also gonna make some blackberry kombucha. But I didn't have enough blackberries for that yet, so I got to do that. How's it going, Miss Scoby? I need to name my Scoby. Had it for a while. Um, it's really steeped in stuff. I'm gonna throw a little bit of milk in here. And like, it definitely doesn't need to me not have any milk. We are out of milk, so I couldn't have used it even if I wanted to. But you know what I do have is a little bit of cream, so I will do the tiniest dollop of cream because um that's you don't need as much cream as milk to have a similar effect. I literally went to the store earlier. I should have looked and seen that there was no milk and went, I should get some more of that. I was just like, a little bit of extra water to cool this off. And to, on account of the cream, I was expecting more liquid to be added. Alright, cool. I was gonna post my bug on Tumblr, but had to take a picture of it in order to do that. It smells really good in here. Um, Not very surprising on account of I'm baking something with cinnamon, which always smells really good. Right. It's 8 o'clock now, which means an MLB game. I can I can commentate on that. Oh, and the Tree Frogs are in the Spotlight game. That's so beautiful. I'm a Tree Frogs fan. Um, oh, it's still the first plate appearance. That's awesome. We got Noodlehead Page up to bat for the Atlanta Tree Frogs up against the Anaheim Angles. Um, Strikes out in 4 pitches. Strike looking ball, strike swinging, strike looking. Um, Second PA, not second PA, first PA of by Eileen Danvers. Strike swinging, strike looking, and foul ball. All right, now I'm caught up. Hits a ground ball to first base on a 80.9 mile per hour cutter, and grounds out to Maria Heredia. Debbie McDaniel is pitching for the Angles, uh, as Andrew Moeller steps up for the Tree Frogs. Sees a foul ball. I guess doesn't see a foul ball. Hits a foul ball. Sees a ball. Another ball. I need to find out. The one thing I don't really know about like baseball commentary, strike swinging, like on the chart of pitch positions, what is inside and what is outside. I think it probably depends on the handedness of the batter, which box they're in, but I don't off the top of my head know. So it's who knows? Andrew Mueller struck out looking, bringing us down to the bottom of the first. Juliana Charleston pitching for the Tree Frogs. Lloyd Drake is the first batter up for the Angles. See the foul ball. Strike looking, 0-2. Saying sees a foul ball. Strikes out looking. Did you guys know that that post that's like I would strike Timothy Chalamet out in 3 pitches? Um, I watched a video of someone trying to find a plate appearance that matches that, and like they found some that were kind of close, but because of I think like how sequences tend to actually go in like real life baseball, it's like not actually that realistic of a plate appearance. But I bet in MMOLB it could happen because we have pitch information. And also a lot of games happen. Like there's a lot of data already, and there will only continue to be more. So I should keep an eye out for that. If anyone makes MMOLB reference. Um, I think probably the types of search tools that you would need to have to like actually effectively filter would be maybe maybe a little bit more advanced than realistically people will make for a online baseball simulator. We're up in the top of the second now, by the way, on this spotlight game. Onus Tyler, couple of foul balls, strikes out looking. I've sort of given up on commentating because I got to see Whoopsie. Uh, um, you know, I feel like what I've failed to consider is that I am also going to have to let the cobbler asterisk. It's not a pie, technically. Um, Probably just let it cool after it's done baking. So while I kind of have a farmer's tan slash sunburn, I should have thought about that when I wore this shirt. Whoops, whatever. I'm free finally from my beloved uh can of olive oil. Um, I think maybe I complained about this on a previous one of these streams, but I was like, oh, I have like a little I washed it because it was empty. Um, but I have this, actually it's pretty much dry. I can probably refill it. I've got this little spray slash pour oil bottle. It's really handy. I'm a fan. Um, and so I put olive oil in it. And so I was like, oh, I can buy olive oil in bulk because it's, cheaper per ounce if you do that. And so I got the largest container of olive oil available, which is one of those like rectangular cans, and it's terrible. I don't know who designed it. They should not be allowed to design things for kitchens for human consumption. Um, because like the the like spout, the hole from which you pour the oil is like not in a good, it's on the top, but it's not even like fully in a corner. So it's like really hard to pour effectively. Like I'm sure it's great if you're like a restaurant or something that uses like, or if you're like deep frying in olive oil. I feel like that's not an oil that usually is used for deep frying. Usually you'll go for like a neutral oil. Look at this. Look at how beautiful and easy this is to pour. Um, yeah, but I really regretted it. But it was the largest thing of olive oil that was available. So I was working through it for a while. Um, but blessedly, I used it up, and I am free now. And now I'm just gonna buy 2 liters at a time instead of 3 liters at a time because it comes in a thing that is conducive to pouring. Ooh, one more minute. Yippee. It's actually probably like a minute and a half because when it gets to a minute, it goes down to seconds. Yay. We get thing on. I'm just gonna turn the timer off because the sound of the timer is kind of annoying. All right. Well, it's bubbling and bubbling, but the crust looks good. Uh, okay. I'm gonna let this cool. Um, then I will eat some of it. I did get ice cream. I'm trying to decide if that is cheating. I probably will just like taste test it without ice cream and stream and go eat some with ice cream. Um, but I had to get olive oil anyway. I was at the store. Ice cream was on sale. I'm gonna go put away my beetle. We will go back to a BRB. Sorry, I'm just really charmed by the little emoji that I drew. Um, Yeah, I'll be right back. I've returned. Welcome. I'm gonna see if I can perhaps bully my sweet kitty into making an appearance. She can tell that I'm up to something, though. She can tell I'm up to something. Okay. You want to come over here so bad. Before I started stream, she was like hanging out in the kitchen while I was doing dishes. Now she's sitting across the next room over. I believe she hates me, doesn't want me to succeed. What I don't have is like a one of those triangle serving utensils for cakes and pies. I got a knife though. That'll do. All right. I was kind of tempted to like get um the pie out of the pan and like put it on a cooling rack, but honestly, I don't think that's probably a very good or helpful idea. I mean, not pie, cobbler. It's a cobbler. I'm not breaking the rules. I'm making the foods that they have and not other ones that are different for sure, definitely. Um, oh, interesting. It kind of like separated out from the edge of the pan a little bit. Man, a medium plate is gonna be the move. This. I did think about making whipped cream um with this, but I think that's close enough to milk. Um, currently my verdict is cream counts as milk. And I feel like if I was like making whipped cream for it, that's part of this recipe. Um, I just also happen to be eating ice cream. Also, I think ice cream does not count as milk. Um, there's like a cafe near me that apparently has good soft serve ice cream. And so after I went and picked the blackberries for this yesterday, I was like, it's not really on the way home from the park, but it's not like horribly out of the way. I'm gonna get I'm gonna get some ice cream that apparently is good. Hi, buddy. Um, and so I went and they were closed and it was really sad. And then I like looked it up and they were like, yeah, sorry, we had like a a maintenance issue today. But we'll be back tomorrow. Yeah. But I did not go today because I knew I would be making this as a fun dessert. And so now I still need to figure out when I can go and get this ice cream. Guess who's here? Guess who's mad at being picked up? Where's I hold you like a baby? I know you hate it. You're not gonna let me? No. We do it? No, we can't. Okay, you can go. I'm sorry for bullying you. She's really pick upable is the problem. Um, it's really hard to have that sweet little creature in my house all the time, and I'm not even allowed to pick her up. What's that about? I think I'm gonna make the executive decision that this is cooled off enough. Sure, it's gonna like spill all over the thing when I cut it, but it's okay. Sure that this is not. Oh, and one like completely random thing that I just remembered that had intended to mention is that so this recipe that I have used for years to make pies and cobblers out of wild blackberries that I pick. Um, it is called a wild blackberry pie, but like they clearly don't actually expect you to use wild blackberries. They clearly expect you to go buy 4 cups of blackberries at the store, like a chump, which is ridiculous. Um, oh, I'm taste testing it without ice cream because ice cream is maybe a little bit, maybe a little bit out of the rules. Um, it's not even like inedibly hot. Awesome. That I feel like it's like a little bit. The filling feels a little bit more runny than when I've made it in the past. Um, which is maybe because I spread it out on like a one big pie tin, cake tin, cobbler tin. It's a cobbler tin. that's that's its intended purpose, definitely for sure. Um, and usually I do like little cupcake pies, but I mean it's good. I with like most berries, honestly, other than like maybe strawberries, which I like a normal amount of ripe. I do like when they're like just barely ripe and are sort of like hard and small and like sour. Um, and whenever you like pick blackberries, it's always kind of a grab bag. Um, I don't know, and like sometimes I feel like it's like different ones from different bushes, ones that are more or less ripe. Sometimes it's like ones from the same bush too, which is like all kind of taste different. But I feel like in a pie that like works pretty well, where like some of them will be sweeter, some of them will be a little bit more like sour or bitter. I think this was successful. I want to put some ice cream on this and eat the rest of it. But um, thanks for watching. Thanks for putting up with kind of kind of a long thing of me just standing around trying to think of what to do while the cobbler baked. Um, yeah, cool. Bye.